Hello, and welcome back to Ciao Languages and Culture. Today's video is on the question, is Rome the only capital of Italy? This is an adaptation of an essay that I once wrote back at university. I wanted to discuss the differences between a legal capital and, for example, gastronomic capitals and economic capitals. So without further ado, what is a capital? Is it possible to have more than one capital? There are various different definitions of this word capital, one being the seat of government, but another is sort of a place of chief importance or influence. When we move on to the question of multiple capitals, it is well documented that it is possible to have many recognised capitals of a certain country. In South Africa, for example, there are 3 working capitals: Pretoria, Bloemfontein and Cape Town. However, in more popular culture, it is also not unusual to hear mention of gastronomic capitals or cultural capitals. For example, you have Leon in Spain, named Gastronomic Capital of Spain 2018. And the cities of Matera in Italy and Plovdiv in Bulgaria, they were both awarded the title of 2019's European Capital of Culture. Obviously, these capitals aren't legally recognised, but they are important and they're influential all the same. And therefore, for the purpose of this video, the alternative definition will be used. For me, the importance and the influence of a place is the main criteria to be used when considering the status of a place as a capital. Having decided on this wide definition, alternative capitals to Rome must be considered to fully answer the question that I'm posing myself when it comes to Italy. When discussing the Italian situation, the most relevant factors to discuss when talking about capital status are the law, legislature, economics, history, culture and language. To ensure that the video is not too long, I want to focus on 5 major candidates for a capital status in the Italian Republic: Turin, Florence, Rome, Milan and Naples. First on this list is the capoluogo, that is to say the regional capital of the northwestern region of Piedmont, so that's Turin. This was the first capital of the newly created Kingdom of Italy from 1861 until 1864. The importance and influence of this city is evident when one considers how Italy was unified in 1861. Many opposed the 1815 Vienna Convention's reorganisation of Italy's states and former leaders to the pre-war status quo. This led to growing discontent through the 1820s and the 1830s. After failed revolutions in 1848, power passed to Piedmont. Piedmont subsequently united, under their rule, most of the Italian peninsula, with the aid of the French, and that all happened by 1861. Essentially, the so-called unification of Italy was, I'd say, less of a unification and more of an expansion of Piedmont. Turin became the capital, and then the Savoy king of Piedmont-Sardinia, Vittorio Emanuele II, became king of Italy from 1861. The city is home to the Palazzo Madama and Casaforte degli Accaia, which is the palace in which the first Senate of the Kingdom of Italy was based. And the Palazzo Carignano, which was the seat of the first Camera dei Deputati, that being House of Representatives. When we're considering factors such as importance and influence for capital status, the fact that Turin was the prevailing unifying power in the 1800s, that certainly puts some weight behind its claim. Another historic city in Italy with a possible claim to the title of capital is Florence, the capoluogo of Tuscany, and the capital of the Kingdom of Italy from 1864 to 1871. This place was once home to such historic greats as the polymath Leonardo da Vinci and ruled by the influential Medici dynasty. This place played a central part in Italy's history over many hundreds of years as a centre of art, language and culture. Da Vinci, Botticelli, Mantegna, Michelangelo and Raphael were all products of the Renaissance in Firenze, that being Florence, whose masters and even masters' masters all studied and worked in the city. Without the influence and the importance of Florence in this era, Italian heritage and art history would have turned out very differently. Arguably, the most well-known Italian artists of all time emerged from this one city. Among other greats associated with Firenze are Dante Alighieri and Alessandro Manzoni. Dante was born in Florence in the 1200s and would go on to write some of the most influential works of all time, including the Divina Commedia that is known the world over. Whereas Manzoni moved to Florence in adulthood to improve his novel, I Promessi Sposi, using what he called a modello linguistico per quella che sarà l'Italia unita, a new linguistic model for what will be the unified Italy. It has been said that he went there to riacquiare I panni in Arno, to metaphorically wash his clothes in the river Arno, immersing himself in Florence, choosing the Tuscan dialect as the main inspiration for modern-day Italian. However, this dialect was not adopted unedited as the modern Italian language. Even Manzoni's book on the new Italian language, Nuovo Vocabolario, uses a word in its title that is different to that in usage in modern times. Nuovo has now changed to nuovo in modern Italian. Language forms a significant part of a nation's psyche, and Florence has had a profound influence on the language used in today's Italy, despite the fact that Tuscan wasn't the only dialect to influence Manzoni's new Italian. Further to this, other works that have brought the city into the spotlight of Italian culture include O mio babbino caro from Puccini's Gianni Schicchi. The aria tells the story of a young woman pleading with her father to consent to her marriage to her beloved. It references the Florence landmarks Porta Rossa and Ponte Vecchio. As now evidenced, Florence has a proud history of importance and influence on Italy and its culture, making a formidable candidate for capital status. Next, I will consider Rome, in Lazio, which has been currently the legally recognised capital of the Republic since 1871. As stated in Article 114 of the Costituzione della Repubblica Italiana, the Italian Constitution, Roma è la capitale della Repubblica. La legge dello Stato disciplina il suo ordinamento. Rome is the capital of the Republic. The law of the state decides its organisation. This city was also the historic capital of the great Roman Empire, with which many Italians still identify. Evidently, many Italians place much importance on the city and its long history. Having already established that Rome is the de jure capital, we must now consider whether Rome is the de facto capital as well. Using the first definition of capital given at the beginning of the video, I would say that it is. This is due to the fact that in Rome you find the seat of the Italian Chamber of Deputies, the seat of the Italian government and of the Prime Minister, and the seat of the Presidency. Those are the Palazzo di Montecitorio, the Palazzo Chigi, and the Palazzo del Quirinale. However, the fact that the government is based in Rome does not necessarily mean that it is chief in importance or influence, nor that it is the only city with these qualities. Another fact that should be considered in this debate is the arbitrary manner with which Rome became the capital towards the end of the Risorgimento, the period that led up to Italian unification. The timing of the invasion of the city by the forces of the Kingdom of Italy in 1870 was due to political and military opportunism, as French support of the Church's territory was weakening, due to the Franco-Prussian War that was taking hold of French resources at the time. However, having considered all the information, it is fair to say that Rome does have a claim to the title capital, but there are more places to discuss before being able to conclude if it is the only one. Now on to the city of Milan, capoluogo of Lombardy, which is, according to a report, one, if not the only, strategic lever in the country in modern times. There is a compelling argument for this city to be considered as a capital of importance and influence. It is a centre of economic and cultural life in the Italian Republic. A very large part of the country's economy is controlled here at the Borsa Italiana, the Italian stock exchange, whose total market capitalisation was around a third of Italy's GDP in 2015. The primary benchmark index for Italian markets is even named after the city of Milan, the FTSE MIB, Milan Indice di Borsa, which captures around 80% of domestic market capitalisation. Milan is also a cultural centre of Italy. It's a popular destination for fashion all year round. Twice a year, 170 fashion shows and presentations take place in the city. In addition to this, the established Italian fashion houses have given Milan its reputation as a fashion capital of Italy. Having examined these examples of economy and culture, the importance and influence of Milan as a city has been clearly exemplified. The final city to consider is the influential port city of Naples, the capoluogo of the southwestern region of Campania. This city has rich gastronomic, historical and modern-day military significance in Italy, and even the Western world as a whole. Arguably, the most well-known Italian food, perhaps on a par with pasta, is the traditional pizza margherita. This was created in honour of the Savoy Queen Consort, Margherita of Italy, in 1889 by Neapolitan pizza maker Raffaele Esposito. The pizza margherita used tomatoes, mozzarella and basil, patriotically emulating the colours of the Italian tricolore flag. To go back even further into history, we find the infamous eruption of Mount Vesuvius in the year AD 79. Vesuvius's proximity to modern-day Naples is well known and provides importance to the history of the region. This facet of Naples' past is still studied today through the letters of Pliny the Younger, which tells us of broad sheets of fire and leaping flames blazing at several points. Now we come to NATO's modern-day military significance. NATO moved its Hub di Direzione Strategica del NATO per il Sud, the hub for strategic direction of NATO for the South, to this city in 2017. The organisation aims to defend and deter aggression from NATO's adversaries. And having discussed these points, NATO also has a persuasive case for capital status in the Italian Republic. Now, if I come back to the original question that I posed myself, it was established at the start of this video that Rome is definitely a capital of Italy, the legal one, but this did not definitely prove that it is the one and only capital. Turin has a claim to that title as well, an historical one, as first capital of the Kingdom of Italy in the 1800s. Florence is also a legitimate candidate, with its Renaissance artistic prowess and influence on the Italian tongue, with linguistic and political grandee Alessandro Manzoni choosing the dialect of the city and its region as a starting block for his new Italian language. And furthermore, Milan is deserving of capital status due to its long-lasting reputation for world-leading fashion and design, and for its stock exchange. Naples brings in gastronomic, military and further historical significance to this debate. It's the home of the classic Italian pizza, a NATO base, and of the notorious Mount Vesuvius. Having discussed and debated with this information from a wide area of topics and viewpoints, I think we should conclude that Rome is not the only capital of Italy. Italy is not as centralised as other countries that have longer histories of existence. For instance, France and Britain have had hundreds, if not thousands of years to develop strongly centralised capitals. But Italy seems to have importance and influence shared out more evenly over its territory, due to the country's relative infancy, in my opinion. Rome may be the only legally defined capital, but no one can deny the importance and the influence that the four other candidates that I've chosen bring to the Italian Republic, and to its history and its culture. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you found it informative and interesting. Please do leave a comment below and like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Feel free also to leave in your comments suggestions for future videos and just generally what you thought of this video today. Thank you again for watching. Come back again for another video on Chow languages and culture.